Whitestone, had spent 80 years constructing a life as orderly and respectable as a well-balanced ledger. He built his fortune the same way, patiently, methodically, and with a fondness for numbers that bordered on romance. His late wife, Emma, used to say that Herman could fall in love with a column of figures if it added up nicely. Emma had been gone 3 years now, and the house had grown too large for one man and his reflections. It echoed with the kind of silence that made a fellow notice things he had once been too busy to observe, like the curious timing of his children's visits. There were 4 of them, Peter, Irene, James, and Elizabeth, born in such quick succession that Herman sometimes thought of them as a matched set, like cutlery. In their youth he had traveled frequently, shaking hands in cities whose names he pronounced with confidence, but never quite familiarity. By the time he slowed down, his children were already grown, polished and slightly distant, like polite acquaintances who happened to share his last name. Herman, for the first time in his life, felt something had gone terribly wrong.
I kept my numbers straight and clean. No debts unpaid, no messy scene. A ledger neat from A to Z. A life that added up for me. I built it brick by careful brick. No sudden turns, no reckless trick. And every gain was earned, you see. A life that added up for me. Added up, it all made sense. Every dollar, every expense. But something's missing I can't see. A line not written next to me. Columns filled, don't laugh or cry. They never ask a reason why. The numbers show, but not the things I'll never know.
Lately, the children had grown remarkably attentive. They visited more often. They laughed a little too heartily at his mild jokes. They asked after his health with the sort of concern that suggested they had a vested interest in the answer.
We came to see you, Father dear. We thought we'd visit since we're here. Your health is good, you look alive. That's excellent, you might survive. We've all been busy, yes it's true, but still we made the time for you. Because we care, we really do. And also, there are things to review. We brought a cake,
it's from the store.
We meant to bake,
but time's a chore.
we signed a card, we did our part.
A sign!
Who forged the signature of Bart? We love you dearly, that is clear. We'll visit often, have no fear. A perfect, caring, loyal band. Now who gets what? Let's understand. Your garden's lovely, still intact, though upkeep seems a bit abstract. The roof, a shame it might give way, that lowers value, I would say. We worry about you all alone, too much for one to call their own. Perhaps it's time to simplify and liquidate, diversify.
How much is the house worth now?
Did he update the will somehow?
Who gets the stocks? Who gets the land?
Is that appraisal close at hand?
What about the antique chairs?
Who's been listed as his heirs? We're just a loving, caring band with only pure intentions planned. We gather round with open hearts and carefully divided parts. Of course, we're not here for the money. That would be crass. But while we're here, remember trips we used to take, the bonds we formed, the laughs we'd make, such priceless times we hold so dear. Still, what's the value year to year? Your paintings hang so tastefully, we've always loved them mostly. That one above the fireplace would look much better in my place.
Check the safe.
Behind the stairs.
Wasn't there a coin collection there?
Ask him gently. Don't be rash.
Smile first.
Then mention cash. We love you dearly, this we swear. No finer children anywhere. Devoted kind of model clan. We'll take whatever pieces can. We're just a loving, caring band with spreadsheets close at hand.
Even the grandchildren had taken to hovering about him like junior vultures in training. It was from these grandchildren that Herman first received clarity. One afternoon, stationed discreetly behind a half-closed door, Herman overheard a spirited debate among them. "If Grandpa kicks it before Christmas," one declared, "Mom says we might finally redo the kitchen." "That's nothing," said another. "Dad says Aunt Irene is angling for the house, but there's no way she deserves it." "Well, Uncle James says Grandpa's not all there anymore," added a third. "So the will might not even count."
When Grandpa goes,
Not that we're wishing.
there'll be a rather grand division, a redistribution of the goods for modern times and neighborhoods. New car, new kitchen, maybe more. A bigger place, a second floor, a pool, perhaps a deck of view. Investments that will grow anew.
It's not about greed
It's about fairness,
and also comfort.
wealth awareness.
We're thinking smart
We're planning right.
for futures looking very bright.
Mom says the house is practically hers. Dad says that's nonsense, he concurs.
It's not about greed
It's about fairness,
and also comfort.
wealth, and awareness. We'll take the old and make it new, a fresh design, a better view, a little upgrade here and there. It's really just responsible care. The house alone could fund a dream or two or three. We'll form a team. We'll renovate, expand, improve, increase the value, make it move. New kitchen island, marble white, a wine fridge stocked just right at night, a sunroom facing west for light. We'll do it all efficiently, of course, polite. It's not about greed, it's about fairness and also comfort, wealth awareness. We're thinking smart, we're planning right for futures looking very bright. It's not about taking, it's allocating, strategic, thoughtful, recalculating, a careful, clever, grand design that just so happens to align with mine. Mom says the house is practically hers. Dad says that's nonsense, he concurs. Aunt Irene's got a different view, and Uncle James says that won't do. They argue softly, then they shout, then smile when Grandpa's walking about. It's all so very civilized until the subject gets itemized. There's stocks and bonds and assets too, an investment split a different few ways through. A trust, a fund, a hidden clause, a lawyer paid to find the flaws. We'll need a plan, a chart, a grid to map out everything he did, and who gets what and why and when, and how to justify it then. It's not about greed, it's about fairness and also comfort, wealth awareness. We're honoring what he would want with just a slight adjustment up front. It's not about taking, it's about timing, precision, thinking, careful climbing, a future shaped by what we know, and all of it when Grandpa goes. We'll miss him dearly, yes we will. A better option comes along, which might require we prove him wrong. A gentle shift, a small rewrite for what is clearly only right. A little here and little there, a redistribution that is fair. A tweak, a shift, a legal spin, a way to make the numbers win. We're not the kind to simply take, we strategize for goodness sake. We optimize, we maximize, we simply reorganize. It's not about greed, it's about fairness. Careful, careful, well composed, we've planned it all. When Grandpa goes, it's not about greed, it's about vision, a long-term, thoughtful wealth decision. A brighter future clearly shows it all works out. When Grandpa goes, we'll miss him, of course.
Now Herman, who was very much there, found this enlightening. He decided to set a trap. He hired a private detective named Clarence P. Dodd, a man used to deceit and how to use it. Together, they devised a plan. Herman Whitestone would fake his death, then hide and observe the heir's true colors.
You want to die, but not quite die. Temporarily just to spy on those who claim they love you so, and see how far that love will go. A risky game, a curious test, to see which child performs the best. Or worse perhaps, to finally learn which hearts are real and which just yearn. A most unusual plan indeed, to measure love by acts of greed, to disappear yet still remain, and weigh affection against gain. A quiet test no one can see, except the man I used to be. I've trailed men through darker schemes, followed lies and broken dreams. But this play you now propose reveals more truth than anyone knows. You're not chasing crime or sin, you're asking what is truly within. A family dressed in courtesy, or something far less generously. All my life I trusted form, contracts signed and standards sworn, but signatures can't guarantee a single trace of loyalty. So let them speak when I am gone, let truth appear when I'm not on the stage they use so carefully to play the part of loving me. A most unusual plan, it's true, but truth is worth the things we do. To step outside what we have known and see what stands when we are gone. No ledger line, no written creed can calculate what hearts concede. So let the silence make it plain what love survives and what was feigned. This could go poorly.
It already has.
And if you don't like what you find,
Then I'll finally know.
a most unusual plan indeed, to measure love by acts of greed, to vanish just enough to see who they are without me. And when the truth is finally clear, I'll know exactly what stays here.